welcome to my channel. My name is Dana and I have been crocheting for over 30 years. I taught myself how to crochet from a book when I was just a little girl, and I've taught many people how to crochet ever since then. In these videos that I am putting together for you, I'm going to teach you how to crochet as if I were teaching you in person. This will be a series of comprehensive video tutorials that will go in order from the very most basic to more advanced. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you wish to follow along. I know that you're excited and you want to go ahead and grab some yarn and a hook and get started. But if you want to be really good at crocheting, you need to have a good understanding of the tools that you're going to be using and how to use them, or you're going to be really confused later on. So this first lesson will be all about understanding what tools that you're going to be using as a crocheter and how to choose the right tools as a beginner in a wall full of tools. So I don't want to overwhelm you. I will link the tools in the description box below to help you narrow down your search, but you can literally find these tools anywhere. So without further ado, let's get started. Every crocheter uses these tools that you see here on your screen. The main thing, of course, is a crochet hook. It's different from knitting, which uses 2 needles to create a project. With crocheting, you only need 1 hook and some yarn. And I'm sure you've noticed that there are a lot of hooks right here, and that's because they're all different sizes. As a general rule, the thicker or the bulkier your yarn, the bigger your hook needs to be, and the hook size is listed on the hook itself in millimeters. So like you see here, this is a thick yarn, and so I would use a bigger hook like this for that particular yarn, whereas a thinner yarn like you see here would use a smaller hook like I'm showing you here. One thing I also want to mention about crochet hooks is that you will see there are the size in millimeters, but there's also a letter and a number associated with a lot of crochet hooks. That's because some manufacturers include a number or alphabetizing system, but millimeters is the most universal standard, so that is what you need to pay attention to the most. So you might see some crochet hooks that have letters, numbers, and millimeters. And since this is rather confusing, I have created a printable bookmark for you to print off and keep for reference. Now, if you come across a hook that does not indicate a size anywhere on it, you can use a unique tool like you see here that actually tells you the size of the hook that you're using. So here I am, I'm showing you how it works. You slide it through until it fits. And so right here, it's showing that this hook is a 5.5 millimeter hook, which is also associated with the number 9 and the letter I. I also want to mention that hooks can be made of several different materials, like I am showing you here. So this gold hook here is made out of aluminum, and this is my personal preference. I do prefer aluminum hooks because the yarn glides easily over an aluminum hook. They have a nice grip, they're lightweight, and they're very easy to find. And if you have problems with your grip, you can find some that are more ergonomic that have these little handles on them, which a lot of people prefer. Now this one is made out of bamboo. It's very beautiful, it's very lightweight, but it would snap in half very easily if I put any pressure whatsoever on it. I do not recommend wooden hooks for beginners because beginners tend to crochet very tightly and you will likely break it if you are just starting out. So I would save that for later on in your crocheting adventures. Now this last one is a plastic one, and it is my least favorite hook because plastic has this annoying tendency to start making your hands sweat, and when your hands sweat, it causes the yarn to sort of stick to the hook itself as you're crocheting. It creates this horrible squeaking sound as you crochet, which is very annoying, and I just don't like how sticky it gets when I'm crocheting. And it doesn't happen to everybody, but it's just my personal preference. I do not like plastic hooks. So again, aluminum is my preference. You can find a huge set at Walmart or online, and I will link it below. Another thing you're going to need are tapestry needles. And as you see, they have a bigger eye and a curved end sometimes for weaving in your tails. I also like the ones that have a straight edge. You are also going to need stitch markers. Stitch markers do just that. They mark a stitch as a reference point for a specific project, or they keep your project from unraveling. Unfinished crochet projects can unravel, so you're definitely going to need some of these. You're also going to need a tape measure. This cost me like $1 at the craft store. And on one side it has centimeters and on the other it has inches. I use it every single day. So you are definitely going to want a small tape measure if you plan to crochet. And of course you're going to need scissors. I also want to mention that this tool can be used for more than just measuring the size of hook that you have. It's also used for measuring gauge, but we will talk more about that later. I do recommend that you use a bulkier weight yarn to practice your stitches and one that's even lighter than this. And in our next video, we will be talking about different kinds of yarn and how to read a yarn sleeve and how to know what yarn to choose for your crochet project. I hope that you enjoyed this first lesson today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching.